His hearty food on Celebrity Best Home Cook has given viewers a warm fuzzy feeling at a time when so many are missing their mother's home-cooked grub. But Ed Balls, who won the show last night, has revealed the secret heartache which has propelled him to success, going 10 months without seeing the elderly mum he calls his inspiration. The 53-year-old says he hopes his mum Carolyn, who is battling dementia in a care home, will be able to recognize him on screen and see him cooking the meals he says he wanted to do well on the BBC cooking show because of her. It has always been in my mind that I know she is watching, and I hope she will be able to recognize me and maybe recognize what I'm doing, and deep inside she might feel pleased that I'm doing all the things that In last night's final, he triumphed against actor and Boris Johnson's sister, journalist Rachel, and Ed admits his thoughts were on his mum at the end. In the final I got quite emotional because everything I was cooking were dishes Carolyn hasn't been able to see her husband, children or grandchildren since the start of the pandemic, and Ed, who served as Education Secretary under Gordon Brown's government, says, before the pandemic, she used to come home in a taxi with her carer and I would cook all her favorite foods, lasagna, roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. I really miss that. We haven't been able to see her for 10 months now. It's been especially hard on my dad, who is on his own. He's been able to see her on FaceTime, but it's not the same as being together and being able to touch, and to sing, and to do the things that really make a difference. She would smile when we'd sing with her, and it's not the same when you're doing it down It has been incredibly painful. What I know is that although we can't have conversations with her, she is watching me on TV, and every now and again she sees me and turns to her carer and says, "What's he up to now?" It's the reason why he says he is taking the show, judged by Dame Mary Berry, leading chef Angela Hartnett and produce expert Chris Bavin, so much more seriously than Strictly Come Dancing, in which he cemented his place in TV history dancing Gangnam Style with pro Katya Jones in 2010. Ed, who is married to former Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, still a Labour MP, says, "I started to care much more than I expected. I suddenly realized that if Mary Berry or Angela didn't like my lasagna, then actually they didn't like my mum's lasagna. If they criticized my shepherd's pie, that would have been 50 years of my life being The earliest thing I can ever remember eating is my grandma's shepherd's pie." Ed says he's been the only cook in his house ever since the birth of their first child, Ellie. The couple also have a son, Joe, 18, and 17-year-old daughter Maddy. Yvette basically retired from the kitchen and I've done all the food shopping and cooking ever since, he said. I think the only thing she's done since then is the odd beans on toast. It was about sharing up the roles, and because I enjoy doing with his kids, the biggest fans of his cooking. Ellie even asked for a recipe book of the dishes he cooked her for her 18th birthday. He admits the pressure was on when he agreed to take part in the BBC show, hosted by Claudia Wink. He says, "On Strictly my kids had low expectations as there'd never been a sign that I could do a quick step or a cha-cha, and I think they were pleasantly surprised I wasn't as bad as they thought I was going. But with cooking it was different, because I've done so much of it. They were quite worried in case it didn't go well. On Strictly they were embarrassed, and on Home Cooking they are just relieved that it has gone well." Since losing his seat in a shock defeat in 2015 while he was Shadow Chancellor, Ed has also been teaching political economics at Harvard University and King's College London, and has been on our screens in the last few years in travel documentaries looking at politics in the US. Might there be a return to frontline politics? Never say never is his answer. Politics has been wild for the last few years. I've looked on with guilt and pain at the very difficult issues people have had to deal with. But if I did want to go back, I'm not sure doing the waltz or cooking lasagna on TV would be the best way to go about it. I've done many things in my time, and if you can make people smile and have fun, then why not? I was once Father Christmas in the Daily Mirror newsroom. I play the banjo for the Queen's Night. You just have to rise to every challenge, whatever it is. And my mum will see me and roll her eyes and say, "What's he doing now? Do you have a story to sell?" Get in touch with us at webcelebs@com or call us direct 0207 29 3300.